Huddle with corporate cars, delivering affordable luxury European vehicles nationwide.
Back on the Huddle this evening, Josie Pagani is with me. Hi, Josie.
Hi, Larry.
And Cameron Slater from Whale Oil, the best blog in the country, of course. By a country mile. Well, you were recognised at the Canon Media Awards, of course. Anyway, Cam, issue number one to you is...
Look at the talent, Larry. I mean, the competition, sorry, just saying.
Was intense.
Well, you could blog at my site and you could be an award-winning blogger too.
Now, David Cunliffe is not ruling out doing a post-election deal with the .com Mana party, so very much in play. Cam, what do you see in it?
I don't think it's in play at all. David Cunliffe's got a slight problem in that Ian Lees-Galloway's got a bill sitting there that's been drawn that needs to be debated on, which removes the coattailing provisions. So if he's true to his principles, and so far we have seen that his principles are somewhat flexible, but if he's true to the principles and all of the rhetoric regarding dodgy deals within the MMP rules with regards to coattailing, then we should be seeing David Cunliffe come out and categorically refuse to do any deal with any party that uses coattailing.
Why doesn't he come out, Josie?
I think that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, I don't have a problem with them not ruling out any party, because we don't know. I mean, we might think that the Internet Mana Party is going to get 1% at the most, but it might get more. So you don't know till after the election. But what he should be doing is ruling out deals into Tai Tokoro, which is Honi Harawira's seat, and I agree with that. And on Q&A this weekend, I called on David Cunliffe to go to Parliament this week and offer to do a deal with the Nats to say that we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of the coattailing clause. Yep. You can have a debate about lowering the threshold, because I think 5% is too high. But, Mana or Internet Party, they've got to go out like everybody else and win the argument, win support and win votes, rather than try and do it with deals.
Yeah, and if John Key was smart, he would actually move in on that bill, say that they've done some polling and they've had some focus groups that have told them that they're out of step with what the vast majority of New Zealanders want. I think the polls show only 16% or something ridiculous like that support coattailing in any case, and be pragmatic and say, well, let's adopt this bill. Of course, you'll hear shrieks of outrage from the hard left who have infested the Internet Party. But, But
it's also, Cam, isn't it? I mean, it's also the principled thing to do. And I think this is the thing. Labor's got a chance now to differentiate itself from, the rabble on the left and go, look, the job of the Labor Party is to advocate and organise for Labor values and Labor principles. Yep. And they've got a candidate up there in Kelvin Davis who personifies everything that's good about Labor values. He
Hell, if I was on the Maori roll, I'd vote for him.
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, he got into politics to bring jobs to the north. He's passionate about education. He's a strong Māori man. If you believe in Labor values, then you get behind someone like that, and you think that's a winning recipe.
But Cameron, there are people, commentators in particular, begging Mr. Cunliffe to actually gift Mr. Harawira the seat.
Those will be the same commentators who have decried any sort of deals with ACT and Epsom, who have hounded Peter Dunn every time a vote comes up in Parliament, to email him, implored him not to vote for something. He's the government's sole vote as a result of a dodgy deal in Oharu. The hypocrisy over this is astonishing. Now, for me personally, I don't care. The rules are the rules, and those are the rules that we're playing the game with. But the sanctimony and the hypocrisy of these people who have now jumped on board when they have railed for nearly 7 or 8 years against the same thing is astonishing. But then we shouldn't really be surprised by that. They'll do anything to get near the baubles of power.
Back in just a moment, Cam Slater and Josie Pagani on the Huddle. It's now 15-6.
Larry Williams Drive with ANZ, the bank with more local experts on NewstalkZB.
Back with Cameron Slater and Josie Pagani. Issue number 2, Josie, to you, the Greens carbon tax. New Zealand First are saying they won't support it. Labor won't say, National won't support it, obviously. What do you see in it?
Very clever politics. Excellent policy for the Green Party. They've managed to become, they're calling it the climate change tax switch, because they've managed to be the only party so far who's promising to cut taxes for everyone, including company taxes, and pay for it by taxing the worst polluters. So I think this shows a real pragmatism from the Greens, ironically, that they're shifting, I think, more to the centre. And only last year, when you think back to their conference last year where they banned perfume, do you remember that? Now they're kind of looking incredibly sensible. I think this is something that has strong appeal, towards the centre.
Really? Okay, okay, all right. Cam, what's your take on that?
Oh, I don't believe anything the Greens have got to say. I mean, I've been going through their website today and I've identified 38 and growing. The list is growing. It takes a considerable amount of time. But 38 additional taxes that these guys are promoting. So for them to say that there is a tax cut off the back of a carbon tax, and I might say that it is a pretty measly tax cut in any case, $319 per household per annum. It's actually...
What, you're against tax cuts now, Cam?
Well, no, I'm not against tax cuts. What I'm against is people saying that they're going to deliver a tax cut when in actual fact they're raiding your pocket with their other hand.
But the interesting thing is this is something that Nigel Lawson came up with under Thatcher. You know, this is quite a Tory policy, the idea of having a fiscally neutral carbon tax. And, you know, you can debate the figures, Cam, but, I mean, Burl Economics have come out and said that it's $319 extra that people will have in their pocket.
Well, they don't know how much, I mean, all the other stuff loaded onto companies, Josie, how much that's going to be passed on to the consumer.
You don't. That's true. And look, I don't want to be Pollyanna-ish about it, but that the Greens have to be realistic that there are costs. And yes, price of petrol will go up and prices will go up. But, you know, they are looking at this. They've got Burl Economics to look at it. They're out to do it fiscally neutrally. And, I think they've got the figures to prove it.
When you look at all of their... I mean, they've got 5 different proposed taxes for vehicles for less than trucks, so, cars and, personal transportation. 5 different levies and taxes that they haven't mentioned that's associated with any of that.
I just think it's really interesting that when I think about the campaign in the last election, they campaigned on, I think, jobs, rivers and kids. So they kind of got out of their core job, which is to be a Green Party. And now I think what they're getting back to their knitting, and they're just saying, we will campaign on climate change. Didn't
they watch what happened in Australia?
Yeah.
Campaigning on a carbon...
problem,
Russell Norman's an Australian, and he's just watched the Green Party get slaughtered in Tasmania and in South Australia and in any other state that there was, on the basis of a carbon tax.
Well, the thing is, Josie, the thing about, I mean, it won't make one iota of difference to world emissions. I mean, you know that. So why would you have the tax in the first place?
I know, but when you saying that the global response to climate change is so woefully inadequate, it's okay for us to be woefully inadequate.
Well, it is. Actually, it is. I think we can spew out a bit more if we're only 0.14% of the world's global emissions, if you believe in all that sort of stuff anyway.
Why did we bother to be the first people to give women the vote?
I don't know why, Josie, because it's...
Well, I don't know what the women in the vote has got to do with it, Josie. Come on.
I'm just saying that we've got a good reputation globally for going out on a limb and saying we'll do things right, and then the world follows us. Why can't we do that again?
You really believe you believe the world are going to follow us? Come on. Come on.
They gave women the vote.
Yeah.
And all right. It's all gone to hell since.
All right. Okay.
Oh, well, let's do nothing.
I got to go, and we'll debate this at another point, obviously. Cameron Slater and Josie Pagani on the Huddle Sport in a moment. It's now 8 to 6.